Welcome to the Heroes Change Live AMA, and I'm your host Jazz Gill from Crypto G Hub. Crypto G Hub is a crypto consultancy with a team of experts from around the world who lead projects in all phases of its life cycle, be it in seed stage, pre-IDO, or post-launch. And today we have two very distinguished gentlemen on our call. Onur Cayli, art director of Heroes Change, and Jamie Lee Hill, head copywriter of Heroes Change as well. Welcome, gentlemen.
Welcome. Thanks, Jazz.
I must say, Jamie,
Hello.
Onur, nice to have you here both. It's great to have some of the other team members on the AMA, and I'm looking forward to this special Christmas edition, I would say, of this AMA. And Jamie, I'm very enthused with your dress code today as well.
Yeah, I just brought down a little bit of my collection. I've got a Beowulf sword here as well, and a couple of other helmets behind me. Got a jousting helmet, and then also a classic, but needs a bit of a polish, Maximilian helmet, 2.2 millimeters. You could wear it in battle, actually.
Wow.
But I'm not going to because it's Christmas.
Well, I must say, you seem to have all the kit there, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You've got to be prepared.
I'll have to come over one day and actually try some of this stuff on as well.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It's lots of fun.
But anyway, it's a pleasure to have you here, as it's a pleasure to have Onur as well. Both of you folks are well distinguished in your career, done some amazing things, and be interesting to have your thoughts on of Heroes Change, and obviously what you've been doing with your previous history as well, from a work perspective as well, and what got you here as well. So Jamie, if we start off with you, can you give us a bit of a background on
Sure.
what you've been doing, what's your background, and obviously what's the current project you're working on? It'd be great.
Yeah, sure. I first wanted to say it's a great honor to be talking to you today, Jazz, and also a great honor to be working with the team and being here with Onur today. So, and big respect to all our viewers today as well, the gaming community. So my name's Jamieson, J for short, or Jamie. I'm 49 years old. I'm a writer. I'm a digital marketeer. Previously, in a former life, I was a college manager and lecturer. I used to manage about up to 30 staff, 550 students. I'm also a writer, author, and editor, and I edited the executive producer Mev Dink's autobiography, Life's a Game, which is definitely worth a read. And I'm an absolute fantasy sci-fi geek and a gaming geek. So, at the moment, in terms of the Heroes Chained, I'm working on the storyline.
I think we just lost Jamie. I think Christmas, the internet's very, very busy. Father Christmas, sending a lot of emails out, or e-cards. Onur, you can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Onur, so maybe we can, while we wait for Jamie to come back, and like I was saying, Father Christmas is sending a lot of e-cards over the backbone of the internet. So, Jamie, can you hear us? You're back?
Yeah, I can. Did you lose me?
I lost you. So just went away, and I was just saying that Father Christmas is obviously delivering a lot of electronic e-cards, right, over the internet.
Right.
So it's taking most of the bandwidth this week, right? So
right.
Anyway, welcome back. So you were just sort of telling us about you being in college and you managing the team there. Just lost your last part, so maybe you can just readdress.
Yeah, sure. So that was about over a decade ago. I was a college manager, then became a freelance curriculum designer, content writer, written a couple of books, educational books. One was 600 pages. I'm a massive fantasy sci-fi geek. Absolutely love Game of Thrones and Marvel. And I'm currently working on the storyline. I wrote the origin myth about Arius Ventuna and Mount Agnasius and all the other things that you've been seeing on Twitter. I'm going to be working on the dialogue closely with the team, and I've even written a song, but I'm not standing about that because that's sort of an idea at the moment. I've written a tavern song because I'm a songwriter and poet as well. I've got a book coming out, 300-page poetry book with fantasy poems as well. But it's a real pleasure and honour to work with Onur and the rest of the team. The team are absolutely amazing. It's just like
Same
one
here.
big adrenaline hype.
Same
So
here,
was
Jamie.
it
Same here.
so was it
Yeah.
always that you had been into the writing from a young age then, or was it something that you pursued in the latter part of your sort of teenage years or into your early 20s? The actual writing and the creative writing piece.
No, it started before when I was at primary school. I wrote stories and poems, and my sister-in-law said that I wrote my first book at 10. It was a sort of comedy book, how to do things. So yeah, no, the writing's been a common theme since I was a kid, really. I think my mum had a big influence on me and my father as well. But yeah, no, it's been all through my life.
Okay, that's great. And right now, your focus is obviously on Heroes Chained, and you're sort of the lead copywriter or the head copywriter there, right?
Yeah, so basically there's two aspects to my role. I'm doing the copywriting, so the articles that you see on Medium, I'll edit them and I'll tweak the headline. I do an SEO, content SEO research, and then also the storyline, that's the creative writing side, writing the origin myths, storyline, dialogue, etc., and working together with Onur and building it, with his incredible art, and then weaving these fantasy myths into the game to make it mind-blowingly brilliant.
No, that's
That's
great.
the
Well,
plan.
thanks for that. Thanks for that, Jamie. So yeah, Honor, great to have you here. I've read so much about you as I have about Jamie as well, and you've done some amazing things over there in the US, and obviously, your name is inked on quite a household projects and films. So
Yeah.
it'd be a pleasure to hear about your background, where you come from, how you got to where you are. Obviously Heroes Chained, but prior to Heroes Chained, and maybe you can talk about a bit about sort of some of the productions that you've been involved as well.
Yeah, actually, I started in high school. I got a traditional painting and sculpting education in high school in Ankara, in Turkey. Then I did a degree in graphic design again in Ankara. Then I decided to move to US to fulfill my expectations in order to work in the animation, visual effects, and game industry. Then I started doing a master degree in Academy of Art University in San Francisco in visual effects and animation. Then after I completed that, I got a job at Sony Pictures in Los Angeles, and
Hmm.
I had a chance to work on Spider-Man and Man in Black and that kind of projects. Then I got a job offer from DreamWorks. I worked for DreamWorks in a couple of animations. Then I have been playing games for a long time, like as the same people in my generation. So I had a passion for that, also creating arts and also like playing, of course. Then I started working for Sega, and like the technology is like uh, is pretty close. We are using the similar technologies in visual effects and games, so it was not that difficult for me to pass on. And then I had a chance to work on Avengers in a couple of like Marvel projects, and finally Game of Thrones and Stranger Things. These are a couple of projects, most well-known projects that I work on. And yeah, so Terminator, I work on, like, there are so many projects that I couldn't remember now. You can check my IMDb.
Hmm.
And recently, I'm working as an art director for Heroes Chain, an amazing project called Heroes Chain.
Absolutely, yeah, we know a lot
Mhm.
about it, and I've had some great team members on this AMA as well. And I
Mhm.
was looking forward to having you both on here as well, which is great to have you on here. No, thanks for that, Honor. So just going back to you, Jamie. So obviously you've been involved in a lot of creative writing and all sorts of pieces of writing as well. Um, did you have any early experiences on story writing for a game that you've obviously brought across here from your previous experiences and expertise?
Okay, so basically, I'm pretty much new to the video game development world, and it's like every boy's dream to work in video games. And maybe it's come a bit late for me because I'm 50 next year, but nevertheless, it's come. So I have actually written marketing campaigns for video games, and obviously as a role player, D&D, I've written gaming campaigns for Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop role playing. So obviously there's some skill transfer there from the fantasy world to the gaming world. But it was my chance meeting with Mevlut Dink in Istanbul about 6 years ago that kicked this all off. I was reading an article about retro gaming, and there was this amazing review of this man that had done all these incredible games, and in particular a game I used to play in the 80s called Ant Attack. I don't know if you remember that, but I wrote to him on LinkedIn just on a whim, and I said, I've just read this incredible article about you, amazing story, and he said, let's have a coffee. So the next thing I know, we're having coffee, and then after that became friends with him and his son Najati, who's the senior game designer. So no, I've not been in a video game team before, and I'm very modest in the fact that I'm going to learn from everybody. I mean, I've worked in professional teams as a head copywriter in the United Kingdom before, and I've worked as an educational manager. So I'm looking to everybody to learn from them, learn the protocol, and find out more about game mechanics. And it's an incredible experience, even though maybe wished it had happened when I was 20.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's wonderful. And Honor, obviously, you mapped out a lot of your experiences from your college days and university days as well. Similar to what my question to Jamie was around, your experiences. Has that been, obviously, that's been a pretty easy transfer of knowledge from your previous experiences to bring that across into Heroes Chain then? And is there any key aspects that, while you've been developing your career from the early days, that has been very beneficial for you to actually bring across to Heroes Chained, and any of those key things that you think are pretty important?
Yeah, actually, I work in projects similar, not like I cannot say the same thing for the story, but the style, like artistic style, is pretty similar, especially the projects which has the historical background, because in any project you try to get the feeling of a certain timeline, the costumes, the armors, and but if it was a fantasy world, it will even become more fun to work on,
Mhm,
because you use more of your imagination to come up with something unique that you never seen before, in this story. Of course there are similarities. Sword is a sword, but what kind of sword? Like, there are so many questions. So all the knowledge I gathered from my previous experience, this is my aim actually, like to transmit those into this project. And I created very unique characters. I work on vision, for example, in Game of Thrones. I work on the White Walker King and all those like zombies and all those creatures, which we have a lot in Hero of Chain. And I'm actually specifically working on like creatures and the characters which is not exist in the real world. This is my profession, so I love working on those stuff and using the experience I gathered previously.
that's wonderful. And
Mhm.
so what sort of, if there was, say, a young person out there who was basically developing his career, and obviously wanted to pursue a life and his direction in a career similar to yours, is there any guidance that you have picked up from your knowledge and you working for all these great companies and doing some amazing things? Any advice that you would give to young people who also want to pursue the direction you did within art and directing and so forth? And can you, so I think it'd be good for the community, because a lot of people are interested in this as well.
Artistic approach is very individual. Even though we are trying to accomplish a professional job, still those big companies are looking for someone who has a unique style and contribute to their rainbow as a different color. I think the most important thing is to become someone unique and become someone who could be beneficial for uh, those great projects, because they are not looking for operators, they are looking for someone who can come up with original ideas. And in my personal and professional projects, I tend to use my cultural background whatever I design, because I recommend people to use, or like, amplify actually what they know the best. Because, like, I grow in Turkey, and we have a profound history here. I try to reflect that, whatever I see, whatever I experience, whatever I have unique in my memory. So this is my approach. I recommend people to become unique and create their own style as an artist. Not because, like, you can learn any software that you want. You can learn a software in a very short amount of time, but creating a style which doesn't look like anyone else takes time. So I recommend them to spend time on that aspect.
Sure. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. And when you was a kid then growing up, were you always artistic? Were you always getting out the crayons and pencils and the paint and the paper and trying to sketch stuff? Yeah, I was just I think we had a bit of a lag there on the internet with your connection. I
Like,
was just
no,
saying,
I think I barely heard what you said, but I
yeah,
can answer
so I
that
think, yeah,
question. Yeah.
it blanked out. I'll just repeat it. So I was just saying, so obviously growing up as a child, were you always, sketching, painting, getting the crayons out and doing things? Was it one of those things? Obviously, some people go into sport, they want to go and play soccer, or they want to do athletics or something like that. And then you have other kids, they're into their computing, they like to play games. And then you have other kids like my youngest daughter as well, who was always into art and wanted to paint and draw and things of that nature. So were you one of these kids that was into his painting from sort of day one, and just being very artistic?
Mhm. Yeah, I am one of those kids. Like, I I feel that, I was born for this,
Mm,
because since I was kid, this is the only thing I do. I just draw and try to find a material to express myself visually. So it doesn't matter which medium it is, but I love doing that. I love, for example, in my free time, I uh, use stone as a material. I do sculpture. I'm not just doing 3D, like digital arts. So in order to just express my feelings and what I want to communicate through, I use art, and it has been always like that. And my
sure.
family and my teachers, they figured that thing out, because I was not really good at in other subjects. They said, okay, this kid needs to do arts, because I was not interested in other subjects, just arts.
Sure. So it looks like you've actually, this is one of these unique talents that, certain individuals just basically born with that skill set, and they
Mm.
have that, and then it's just a matter of nurturing and working on it. So was
I
your
think there
family
are there
quite
are other
artistic?
there are yeah, other factors. I interrupted you, but
No, go ahead.
I yeah, I think my family, they discover it, and they encourage me to do what I'm doing right now. And they say, like, okay, if you are happy doing this thing, just go ahead. We we support you. I think uh, the lucky artists, they always have a little bit support from their family or people around them, or even though if their family is not supporting, maybe their friends, support them. Support is, and encouragement is very crucial for an artist. This is
Hmm.
our gas, I think encouragement are his gas. And my father, he paints and draw. Maybe this is another reason I have been observing him since I was kid. And yeah, and he couldn't become a artist, full-time artist, and he always encouraged me and my sister to become an artist.
That's wonderful. And, obviously your parents must be very proud of you for your achievements because, like I said, you inked your name to some massive Hollywood projects, right? Most of them I've watched myself
They
as
didn't
well.
know that much until I started working for Game of Thrones. Actually, like it's a very popular project. Until that time, like even I was not sharing like which projects I was working on in like social media. One day, everybody started knowing that I'm working for those projects. And my fathers always keep asking me like, "Oh, you are drawing those creatures and those ugly stuff. Like, I don't understand. Try to paint something, makes us feel fresh, like some naturemort and some like landscapes." Now I'm telling him, "Hey, I'm living my by just doing creatures and stuff." Just it's funny.
That's wonderful. Thank you for that, Honor. So, Jamie, just coming back, I was just asking Honor, what his inspirations was as a child, getting to the point where he's got to now. And just wanted to ask you as well, similar question. I mean, was it something, from day one, from your early childhood, you pick up that pen and you start composing things and writing things, and was it a natural evolution, throughout your childhood to where you are now then, because obviously people write, but not everyone has the ability to write stories and put them into the right context and perspective, and again, story writing, or may it be, being an artist like Honor is, and you write stories, again, both of these are quite creative things, and not everyone can excel at these things. Looking at these guys doing this job, think it may be simple, but it's definitely not simple. So was it something that, again, it was your passion from day one, then growing up as a kid, taking that pen to paper and, writing your thoughts or whatever? How did it go?
Okay, that's a great question. I loved what Honor was talking about. So I grew up in where I am now, the Malvern Hills, and this is where Tolkien, J.R. Tolkien, who wrote Lord of the Rings, and C.S. Lewis, who wrote Narnia, they used to walk on these hills. They used to drink in a
Wow.
pub called the Unicorn. So I grew up in this land that inspired greats like Tolkien and Lewis, Narnia. And my father nurtured in me, he's not alive anymore, but he nurtured in me a love of fantasy, science fiction, and mythology. I've read widely the myths of the world, but yeah, I can only describe it as a compulsion from a young child to write. I had to write. At some point in my teens, I almost wanted not to write, but it carried on. It might sound strange, but it's like a driving force. If I try and sit down and write something that's contrived, it doesn't work. It has to flow creatively, and so yeah, it's been a compulsion for me. I'm absolutely passionate about reading fantasy, philosophy, mythology. I want to learn about everything that unites the world in terms of culture and ideas. So yeah, my mum said when I was a baby, a little baby, said he's going to be a writer, and they named me Jamieson Lee Hill. They said that's the writer's name. So
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
so yeah, from birth, my mum said it, and I guess I'm fulfilling her prophecy. But yeah,
absolutely. And yeah, and it's wonderful to see that, that passion continuing throughout your life, right? You obviously, have,
absolutely.
yeah, you know,
One thing I
uh,
wanted to say was when I was young, there was two different people said two things to me. One said to me, "You're too much of an idealist. You've got to live in the real world." And another
mhm,
person said to me, "You never earn money from poetry." Well, they're both wrong.
yeah, yeah,
I've been, so don't let people take away your dreams and your passions. You've got to follow your heart. It's got to come from within you. And don't listen to people that are telling you what you can't do. They're actually
yeah,
describing what they can't do, not what you can't do.
absolutely.
Even people, like you are trying to learn something from them, they can discourage you. When I was deciding to go to US, in university, my instructors, they offered me to stay in the school as a researcher, and I said, no, I'm gonna go and just go for my dreams, as you said, follow my heart, and I'll go to Hollywood. Then they said, come on, you are flying too high, and just like you cannot do that, and blah blah. No, but I just like get my luggage and just like leave. So you are right. Even like people who you really trust, the in university, they can just say you cannot do it.
Yeah, no, wonderful. And I was just asking that question to Honor before as well. I said, look, we have a massive, great community of Heroes Chain. Wonderful people in our community. And when you look at Heroes Chain itself, the talent that we have in the Heroes Chain team and the people that I've interviewed is amazing. Everyone has a great story to tell. Everyone's had a amazing career and the journey they've had so far before they come to Heroes Change, right? It's just been wonderful. And, it's always good to, I think, and I put the question to Honor as well. I said, look, you've got a lot of young folks on the community as well who may want to pursue a similar career to you or may need some guidance. So I said to Honor, please tell us about, what advice you would give to the younger people that might want to pursue this direction. And same to you, Jamie. So, what would you say for anyone who wants to pursue, a career in writing and similar to what you're doing now in Heroes Chained and the journey that got you here? Is there any skill sets, traits, that would help them along that journey to get to that, to the place, similar to where where you've been? What advice would you give to youngsters going into this direction? Any key
Okay, well,
lessons you've learned?
that's a brilliant question. And I feel it's like listening to Honor's story. And interestingly, when I was at school, I was told I couldn't take art because I couldn't draw straight lines. So I have the greatest respect for artists. My art career was cut short at 12. But I would say a massively important part about writing is reading. If you want to be a writer, you need to read, read, and read as much as you can. I know book reading is a little bit out of fashion, but at the heart of every good writer is a reader. So do your research and look at the styles, look at the way the language is structured, and basically love and have a passion for what you're reading, what you're writing about, and then write as much as possible. Try different styles, different niches. There's so many different types of writers. I've been a curriculum writer. I've been a copywriter. I've been now a fantasy game, video game writer. There's so many different aspects of the writing world. So find out by trying all these different niches what works for you. But most importantly, read as much as you can and get loads of practice and find out the niche that you're happiest in. It's not easy to begin with. It's going to take time, but you've got to have a work ethic and a drive. The team at Heroes Chained is driven. I think we're all as crazy as each other in our passion. And before Heroes Chained, running my own business, I'd work half the night or even till dawn if I get really inspired on projects. And I could see that same drive and determination in the Heroes Chain team, that we're all like passionate about what we're doing. So I'm not suggesting you work all night because your mum and dad might not like that, but find your inner fire, your passion, find out what that is and go for it, and don't let anybody hold you back.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. And that's one thing I must say, what you brought up about the passion and the desire. I must say, I've interviewed a few of the guys, from Heroes Chain so far on these live AMAs, and few more to be interviewed as well in the coming weeks as well. But, I must say everyone that's come on board, including yourselves on these AMAs, you can notice one thing. They definitely have that desire and fire in their hearts, for the passion that they're pursuing. And when you even talk about their previous backgrounds where they've been like yourself and Honor as well, but it's not just a job. It's really something that is like an interest as a hobby, is a part of their life that's become what they are and what they do, right? And that theme seems to be running across the whole team. There's not a single member in your team that hasn't had that the heart and the desire to do some amazing things, which is it's wonderful to see, in a game like this, that people are so passionate. So, a follow-up question from that, Honor, is what made you what would be the thing that made you take on this challenge? You could have continued, and you could continue with your movie making, doing all the art stuff for these blockbuster productions coming out of Los Angeles, out of Hollywood. So what made you pursue this challenge? for Heroes Chained? I mean, what made you say, okay, I'm gonna go for this? I think he may just have a slight connection issue. So Jamie, let's switch over to you then. So
Sure.
Jamie, so yeah, just saying the same thing really. Honor, are you
Okay,
back?
now,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
So just
yeah,
to
I'm back.
just to go back to yeah.
So,
So what
so
made
I
you
think
take this
I'm
challenge?
recently, yeah, I'm actually working for Hollywood projects at home because I had so many clients and I'm still working for those projects remotely. I'm working for Netflix. Actually, recently, I'm art directing and creating concepts. But when I heard about this project and the people who are working for this project, I couldn't stop myself jumping into it. You know, it sounds really exciting, and especially uh, Mr. Mevlut and Erhan Bey. There are so many. Salih Bey, the first time when I met him, I listened the details of the project face to face, and I got really excited. And thanks to them, they provided all the facilities that I can get, and I gathered the dream team, the art team, the people who I have been working for maybe 20 years in the industry, and all the talented, the most talented. I don't like to say, I don't want to discriminate the students, but I'm teaching currently in university in two departments, in game design, also animation, and also I have been doing for workshops, free workshops, and all those talented students who has been successful in my workshops, I I get them in this project. So we had a great team, young, very young and passionate team, supported by uh, professionals who has been working in this industry for a really long time. And when I get my dream team, my friends and my students, who can stop me, you know? And the art of this project is going to turn out, I think, great. We are doing our best, better than best, actually. And it is true that the one thing you mentioned, this is not a job. I never consider what I'm doing as a job. So I'm getting like so many warnings recently from Mr. Erhan. He said like, you guys need to take sleep. You guys need to take a rest. you
Yeah.
know. But we cannot stop ourselves working on the project. It's amazing, and we love what we are doing, and we really love what we are creating here. I would like to say one small story. Talk about one small story. I have a friend. His name is Mustafa. And I know him. He was the one of the best artists. He can draw amazing. When I was in university, I found him to get inspiration because there were not so many people where I live in Ankara. It was a small town, like so. I become friend, and he was my master, and I got him in this project, and he has been drawing for a long time, very long time, and he told me the story that his wife found him drawing like every night for this project, and he was designing the web design actually. Now he's creating concept for our game. That's excitement, you know. How can I say? Pass to him. So
Hmm.
it's such an exciting project, and personally, I out of work. I mean, like when I'm not in front of the computer, when I'm not physically working on the art, I always think about it until I sleep. Even like in my dream, I just like design. I wake up, I just sit in computer and I just execute it. I'm not designing while I am. Can you guys hear?
So just one other thing, Honor, I was going to say. So does obviously designing for the game now for Heroes Chained, does that differ in experience or the way you do it compared to what you've done previously from your previous experiences? So just to rephrase that, Onur. So yeah, does your looks like we've lost both Onur and Jamie.
I'm back.
Jamie's
I'm
back.
back. Yeah. Don't know what's going on with the internet
Can you
today.
hear me? So I was just gonna, yeah. So I was gonna just say, so just going back to that question, similar to what I was asking Honor, so what made you sort of take on this challenge then? For what sort of motivated you or made you okay? You're a busy man with a whole host of things going on in your life with all your writing. What drove you to say, hey, yeah, let's be a part of this heroes chain and do this creative writing stuff that you've been doing?
A massive part of it was obviously Mev Dink and Nedge Dink, because I've known them for quite a few years now. And I edited his autobiography, Life's a Game, in 2020, and that was just such an incredible experience. If you read it, the emotions, the romance, the tragedy, everything, it was just incredible. And we always talked about his various accolades as a game designer, developer, and Nedge as well. And Mev just got in touch and said, hey, I've got a new team together, Invention Games, and we're doing a game, and would you like to join? Fantasy RPG? And yeah, there was no, not even like a millisecond of decision time. And then I saw the team involved and read about them, and the opportunity to work with geniuses like Onur and Erhan Ersin, all the rest of the team are just amazing. It is a dream team, and it's not just about people's talents. They're actually a really, really nice bunch of people. There's so much mutual respect in the team, and I feel like that is, having managed teaching teams in the past and writing editorial curriculum design, you've got to have that respect and that positivity to make great things happen. And I feel like that magic is there. I really believe in this project. Yeah,
absolutely. And from your previous experiences as a writer, is there any changes on bringing that skill set, basically writing what you're writing now, then for the game? And is it easy, or is it did you have to make adjustments?
Yeah, there are obviously parallels and there's differences. The research, obviously, I'm dipping into it. My favorite author is Raymond E. Feist, who created the Midkemia world, which actually came from role-playing D&D. And then the more classic British fantasy like Tolkien, Narnia. So that research side is similar. And as a curriculum writer, it's very, very structured. You're working to learning outcomes. And the 600-page book that I wrote, was working alone for most of the time, and it all has to be linked and coherent. So in that sense, there's some skill transfer for the game, because you've got to have continuity and consistency. But I think the big difference for me,
I'm sure they'll be back. It's just I think today the internet's been pretty bad. I think we're both Honor and Jamie's been. I think Jamie might be in quite a remote area where the internet connection may not be so strong. But
have you lost me?
No, I lost
Hello?
you. Yeah. So you're just saying about you're just talking about the comparison. Then I've got you back now.
Yeah, I think the professionalism is the same in any team I've worked in: marketing teams, research and writing teams, teaching teams. The professionalism there and the structure. I think the difference mainly is the game mechanics, understanding the game mechanics, and of course Nejat is there, Mev's there, and the rest of the team to bring my writing into alignment with with what can be possible. And then of course Honor and me working together, we're seeding each other, the storyline and the art. It's an evolving thing, isn't it? It's that process. So yeah, I mean, I'm a student now as well as a writer and head copywriter. Copywriting I know, writing I know, but in terms of the game world, I'm having to be modest and to learn from the team. But there's no problem with professionalism because I've been doing that all my life in various roles as a manager and as a
Sure.
writer.
And do you work together on making the story fit all the art ideas then? Because obviously there's a connection there, right?
Okay, moving forward, we are going to be working together very, very closely. At the moment, we've obviously got other projects going on. We're not in the same country. I'm in the UK right now. I'll be traveling to Turkey in January. At the moment, we will, from this point onwards, the next couple of weeks, be working very, very closely together. I've written the origin myth, as you've seen, over Twitter, and Onur and his team have been developing the characters. There's lots to say, but I can't say about the characters and hidden secrets. But that's something you can find out over time. Yeah.
But there must be some correlation from when you look at the art and everything like that. Does that give you the concepts and ideas of the obviously there's a correlation between the art and the writing, right? So do you
Absolutely, it's one and the same. It's a synergy, definitely a synergy. It's one and the same. I think we're in some ways we're like fertilizing each other's ideas, if that's the right word. Sort of cross inspiring, the art team and the story writing team. And I work closely with Nejati as well as the game senior game designer. So yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's a organic process. It's working together. We're not working separately. We're evolving a story. That essentially it's a story, an interactive, a real time story, and it's an incredible world, the land of Ventuna, that the gamers will be able to adventure in.
And was there any challenges that you have to overcome, or you're overcoming, or you had to overcome, with what you're doing right now?
I think probably, because I've got other roles that I've got. I'm head.
Hopefully they'll be back
Yeah,
again.
I'm back. Yeah. So I'm quite happy to work half the night, and often I work till 3 in the morning. Occasionally I work till 6 in the morning, and then grab say 5 hours sleep and be ready to go. 11 o'clock, strong coffee, and here we go again. So I've just got to remember I've got family and friends.
Yeah. So what was your main inspirations for writing for the Heroes Chain then? Have you got any inspiration?
Yeah, okay, so absolutely there's definitely, as I referenced before, Raymond D. Feist. I've read 30 of his books in the world of Midkemia. Absolutely love. I mean, I love Game of Thrones as well. It's a beautiful thing, but I'm waiting for Raymond D. Feist's world of Midkemia to be made into a movie. It has been made into a game.
You're back
Hello.
now. You're back. Can you hear Jamie? I can't hear you yet. I hope you can return back because we were just having quite a good conversation here.
I'm back. I
Jamie?
really don't,
Oh,
apologies. I don't know what's going on with Wi-Fi today. Yeah, the third thing, the final thing is, so apart from mythology, obviously Dungeons and Dragons. Um, Now I'm an old school D&D DM. I was playing in the 80s and the early 90s, and then had a big gap from my mid 20s. I started playing again in my 40s, and I started playing the old rules, if you know D&D. There's been several editions since then. So now I've pledged to my friends because I'm stuck in time. I'm learning the fifth edition, which is the current rules. So D&D is going to have an influence, but we're not going to be, we're not be slaves to D&D. We're going to create innovations and new things, and you'll find that out as the game evolves and it comes out. There's certain things that may not correlate with the D&D world. You might, just to give you a little hint, orcs and dwarves and elves hanging out together, which is unheard of in D&D usually, unless they're half orcs. But yeah, D&D is going to have a massive influence on my writing, but I'm not going to stick to always to tried and tested methods. We're going to have innovation and new
absolutely. I
creatures,
mean,
new magic.
obviously, yeah, there's a lot of innovation and magic happening in Heroes Chain, a lot of fresh thinking and creativity coming out of the box that's not been done before. But when you
Yeah.
talk about styles and genre, is there any particular things that, from your past or you've been working on currently before you stepped into Heroes Chain, any styles or genre that you're using as a guide or a blueprint to bring across, and that sort of given you the bit of the edge or the creativity flair in your writing, that
Um,
you're utilizing, and that sort
Amazing
of influence
question.
you.
Amazing question. I think I would say, Jazz, that I'm a purist in terms of fantasy. I'm old school, King Arthur, knights and maidens, and hero quests.
That's what
But
I grew up on, yeah.
yeah, real old school. But at the same time, I like it edgy. I'm a massive horror fan, like Onur. So I like edginess and humor. So you're going to see in the tavern, you're going to see, you know, typical tavern, like medieval England style, um, bar serving maids. But no, let's not stereotype. The women will be fighters as well, supreme and magic users, and we're not going to have like sexist stereotypes. But I'm going to draw on my own book that I'm bringing out next year. I've got what I call stoems, and I made up this word. Stoems are poetry stories. I've got like one poem which is 70 pages long, and it's the story of a character that goes into this dream world and meets mythical beasts and goddesses. So yeah, I've been working on my own stuff, which is not exactly swords and sorcery. It's more like surrealism and mythology. But that definitely will be, something that's going to help me in terms of ideas. But I've got to say, I'm a big devotee of Tolkien and Narnia. I love
Yeah,
the Harry Potter movies. And drawing on the myths. I want to bring in lots of Turkish myths and legends as well, because this is a Turkish company, so
absolutely.
we want to fly the flag
Yeah,
for Turkey.
absolutely. And it's wonderful to see, the great Turkish team that there's a lot of Turkish folks on the team, obviously, that have left the country, like Honor, Mev. Obviously, you are a Brit like me. It's good to see that there's so many different folks in this team from all different cultures and background, and I think that is the uniqueness that really making it a success, and also the wonderful things that most of these guys have done in the lives they followed. Mev Dink leaving Turkey at a very, very young age, moving to the UK and, working himself up, from basically having nothing much, academically as well, learning English, coming here without a grasp of English, and being a pretty fluent English speaker now, learning about gaming himself, coding by himself, without any going to college or university, learning the coding by himself, and then becoming a good coder and developing some great games in the 80s and 90s, as with Honor as well, who's basically, left Turkey, went to Los Angeles, and he's made his name in Hollywood. I'm really impressed with the talent of the Turkish team and the great things that they've done. And also, one of the things that strikes me the most is how humble they are. These all the team at Heroes Chained. Um, great talented individuals, but extremely humble for what they've achieved. Even Onur, you can see, I mean, this guy, blockbuster movies, being the art director for these movies, create all these amazing themes, and just just amazing. And I think we might have a special guest today. I think Mev might have joined, but just waiting for him to come on here. Hello, Mev. It
Hey,
looks like
Jazz.
this is a Christmas special, right? I wish I could have
Um,
nice hair like you. I used to have hair up to my shoulders at one point.
well, I'm very good at hiding my bald spot.
So anyway, it's
As you
wonderful
can
to
see,
have
I
you
keep
here.
looking up.
Absolutely. I think it is working. Your strategy is working. Well, anyway, listen, welcome and good to have you here for a few minutes. Anyway, so what's been anyway, wonderful to meet both of basically Jamie and Honor as well. And I was just saying before you joined that, the amazing part about this whole thing is the humbleness. I mean, everyone is so talented in the team, including Jamie and obviously all the other guys I met on the AMAs, obviously yourself, and then Honor as well. Honor's obviously talked about is I might get them back on another AMA actually, probably get all three of you guys on an AMA, because I think the community with today's internet connection has been pretty poor, and I think there's some very interesting questions I wanted to put forward to both Jamie and Honor as well, and I think we might repeat this AMA again and have you in there as well.
Sure.
Which would be great. But anyway, just like amazing that all these guys are good at what they do, amazingly successful, but very, very humble people. And I'm also very happy to see the quality of talent and skill set within Turkey, especially the Turkish people like yourself have gone overseas, work there, and now you're bringing the experience and expertise that you developed and you achieved in different countries. Now you're bringing it back home to Turkey, to give the younger generation the ability to learn from you guys, to be a part of the journey, and for them to take it to the next level in the gaming industry. And there's not many people not only create a game like Heroes Chain, but putting so much good things back into the community, and helping the Turkish youngsters to get a route and a direction that they can become game developers, like yourself you are doing. They can become writers, they can be artists. You're opening up a whole new um, direction for these youngsters to pursue, and I think that's a very, very good cause. But anyway, so what's happening in your world? What's happening with you? Anything interesting? What you've been up to since our last AMA?
Well, again, thank you, Jazz, for interviewing our guys and uh, providing a lot of important information to our community. Um, well, as Jay said, actually, we have an amazing team, not just in talent, but in attitude as well. We are all working 7/24. Um, as you can see, I was on standby in case you need me.
Yes.
So we've been very busy working hard, both on the development aspect and also
Hmm.
the business aspect. And everyone involved has been working very hard and doing a great job, to be honest. We've been getting amazing partners on board, which is really gratifying. Starting with Avalanche, as you know, and then some great funds from around the world. So
Yes.
we set out to create a global company from day one with Erhan and the rest of the team. And it's absolutely brilliant and very satisfying to see that we are achieving it
Absolutely.
almost very easily. I don't want to sound arrogant, but it's been such a nice, great ride. And I think hard work pays off.
Absolutely. And and it shows. I see the community growing day by day. The community is getting larger and larger, and a lot of very passionate people in the community. They're really following everything. When you see the people's the news feeds and the Twitter, and the Discord channels and the social media. So many people now following Heroes Chained, and day by day you see the numbers increasing, and
Yeah,
people are really getting to what's happening here. And it's always good to have these AMAs and get an update on what the team folks are doing, and I and get understanding of what's happening in your lives as well. Showing that people, showing the community that you're not just working on Heroes Chain, but you're real human beings, living a day to life like the rest of us, right?
well, I mean, obviously, I spend also time supporting my book, and as you said, I provide a lot of support to young people, around the country. I do a lot of talks, presentations. Uh, it's something I've been doing for a long time anyway. So we are always very busy and very generous,
Yes,
helping
it looks
upcoming
like
people.
it looks like we have a very special Christmas bonus, and we now have Urson as well join us, which I think now we've got most of the team guys that joined today. Has been very interesting to meet everyone. Urson,
As you
welcome.
can,
It's good to have you
as you
here.
can see,
Welcome, welcome.
we have no other life, as you can see. We
Yeah,
just
yeah,
live.
I think you guys like to come to talk to Jazz, right?
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
we are heroes ourselves.
yeah. Uh, So in the battle, when somebody drops or falls, you take
Yeah.
his side, as heroes. Onur dropped, I saw Jamie drop, so we came with Mev. What we
Yes.
do in Ventuna as the heroes. We're
Absolutely.
gonna fight
You
the
know.
Battle of Ventuna together.
Absolutely. And I was just saying to Jamie, and obviously just to Mev as well. I said, one of the great things I like about the Heroes Chain team, and the senior management guys that are obviously on the call here as well. It's not just you see everyone has a very solid background and experience in their particular industry, including the interview I done today with Jamie, and obviously Honor as well. But it's also you guys are giving back so much to the community as well. To back to the younger community. You guys are bringing them on board. Helping them develop their careers. Getting their foot up. Which is a difficult thing into industry, and giving them the chance to lift them up. With their hand and say, okay, look, come on board and do some stuff, which is really great to see that you're doing so much for the Turkish community and the Turkish people back home as well, in the sense that giving the youngsters an opportunity to excel and develop new skills and talent, which is really great. And you don't see many people leading a company at the same time also taking time out of their lives to do that as well. So
Yeah,
respect to you all for
thank you.
doing this. I think is a noble cause. So Ehsen, anything else, any stuff happening, interesting stuff that you can tell the community that you want to share, that you
Yeah,
can share?
yeah. Before that, did we start taking the questions from the audience as well? Did we
Not
have we
yet,
No,
done
we're
that?
gonna.
no.
I'm gonna start in now. I think I
Yeah,
might
because they're
actually
waiting.
start that then. So
Yeah,
yeah. So if we can have any questions now. So we've got Jamie here. We've got Ersin here. We've got Mev here. So special Christmas bonus. Any questions? You can ask them, even if it's about their hobbies or whatever. Or obviously Heroes Chained. And
yeah,
yeah, if there's any questions, please send them over.
yeah.
So
I
we'll.
have.
I think the Dark Lord Oblivion's fog got in the Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
So okay, so here we go. So your Ersan, your wish has been granted,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
so as a PTE game, play to earn game, will we be able to play without paying at the beginning?
Okay, that's a good question, but I have two answers. First, yeah, unlike Axie Infinity or similar play to earn games, we don't have that barrier. You don't have to pay to start playing. It's free to play, but you can play in simple mode, free mode. But if you want to earn the assets you win, you would need a wallet. So you have to connect your wallet. If you're not into blockchain that much, you can use our custodial wallet, which is easy to use. So yeah, it's free to enter, but yeah, in the long term, you might wanna buy and sell some of the things you earn. But also, we don't classify our game as play to earn, but rather play and earn. And the core difference is game first. We say game first. We develop a great game first, so you have fun, but you earn through the same NFT and blockchain mechanisms as play to earn. Unfortunately, most play to earn games have become pay me or I won't play because they lack the fun part, the gameplay experience. So we don't want to do that. We want to, have this gameplay, game experience first.
Sure, wonderful. Thanks for
Yeah, I
that.
would like to add to that, Jazz, if I may.
Go ahead, Mev. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think from day one uh, we managed to see a shortage in the shortcoming rather in the blockchain space
Mhm.
with play to earn. As you may know, there are 3.2 billion gamers in the world. That's absolutely massive. That's like half the world's population. But when you put together the entire blockchain gaming community, it's probably not even 20 million. So there is a huge potential to bring traditional gamer to this wonderful space. And that was one of the main things that attracted me. So we come from a traditional gaming background, so we will bring that on board, marry it with the amazing blockchain technology and provide fun aspect of traditional gaming to the blockchain community as well as to the traditional gamer. So as Ersin said, our game will be free to join and play as well as the standard blockchain-based games. But our aim is to play a leading role in this aspect. Play and
Okay.
earn is our concept.
Thank you, Mev. Thank you very much. We'll just wait for the next question.
Jay, I think your microphone is creating a lot of noise.
Oh, really? I'll take it out.
Okay, so the next question is how to balance power between player. If a new person or a newbie, can I play with old player already took all the resources on the map?
Again, like I said, because we will be developing the game as a traditional game. In traditional games, as you know, in MMORPGs, there are different levels. So any new gamer can join the game at any point in the game, and he will or she will level up, gradually. So you don't have to face higher level gamers. So we will use the same strategy in Heroes Chained. That's why our game will make a huge difference in that aspect.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Mev.
Like World of Warcraft, for example, you would have different levels, and games from similar levels match more often. And the world is huge, so you're not going to run out of missions and quests.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks, Ersin. Next question. Just wait for it to come up on screen. Okay, so hello, Heroes Chained. So a strong community not only brings interesting ideas to the project, but also attracts larger partners. So how Heroes Chained project planning to build its community? Well, I would say definitely from a person from Crypto G Hub myself, I've seen this community move at a tremendous pace. So many people have joined the community, such great people in the community as well, very passionate. But I leave it to you guys to answer that question.
Yeah, if I compare our Twitter follower numbers, for example, count, for example, it's over 30,000. It's been about a month since we launched. We have gone out of our stealth mode, and we haven't started with KOLs, influencers. We haven't started the marketing engine yet. We haven't announced our ICO yet, IDO yet. We haven't done anything yet, and still, for example, we got great games from Avalanche, like Imperium Empires. It claims to be a AAA game, and so there are colleagues. We have to trust that, or I hope they deliver. It's not easy, but so we have more than 50% more Twitter followers. They have like something like 20,000. We have like 33,000. So, but they have launched, they have done the ICO, and we have the same with other games. So we're over 33,000 followers. So it's growing very fast, and it's growing rather organically. So if we add influencer, it's going to grow faster. But I think the person who asked the questions is after organic growth. For that, we are very selective on VCs and other partners. For example, we shook hands with Kairos. Kairos is very strong in Vietnam, for example, in the region. And we have a very strong and supportive Vietnamese community. So we love them, and we're so excited. So we're about to shook hands with a Korean, partner that's going to open us to Korea. We're talking to someone from South Africa, Latin America, and all around the world. In America, Avalanche is strong already, but so we're looking for partners that'll introduce us to those places, and also guilds, gaming guilds. I'm more into traditional game guilds, the real guilds. I would say they are the real DAOs. Before the DAO thing, we had guilds, and guilds are organic. The bones in the guilds are strong, more fun. So we need to talk to guilds, and we're open to all ideas coming from our community.
Sure.
I think the other important thing is from the question that, like I said, because we come from a traditional gaming background, we rely on large communities to keep our games alive for a long time. My game, Istanbul Kıyamet Vakti, is running for 15th year this year. That's amazing. That's only a handful of games that managed to stay active for that long, even despite me having to leave and not providing support. So we know a lot about, bringing communities in and also looking after them. So we will very much involve the community in what's happening in the future expansions, new features, etc., because that's what makes traditional games successful. That was another thing that really attracted me to the blockchain space, is the importance of the community actually owning the game. So which means the community will have a lot of say anyway. They will dictate mostly what we should do next. So, we've always listened to our community anyway, but with Heroes Chained, we have to. We have no choice, but
Yes.
we will be more than happy to do so.
Mevlüt abi, I would want the Istanbul Kıyamet Vakti people, really. They would be awesome to, have this Heroes Chained on their shoulders, embrace.
I'm sure once they realize the importance of Heroes Chained, we have to reach out to them and explain the game properly, because I don't think traditional gamers quite understand this new blockchain gaming space. I think they think it's just a money thing. They don't realize that we are trying to break that. So hopefully the big AMA we will be doing for the Turkish community this coming Saturday at 22, 10 p.m. We hope to attract a lot of I can football, Supercan, and Istanbul gamers, and hopefully we will embrace them all.
That's wonderful. That's great. No, I mean, it's great that the community, the community is very passionate about Heroes Chained, but you are also very passionate about the community as well. And also it's great to see that the Heroes Chained is not just focused on one location, one geo, but really the community is now sort of is become global, and in the far reaches of the world, people want to play the Heroes Chained. They want to hear about it. They want to hear the journey about it and what's happening. People are very excited. So
Yes.
but we'll have another couple of questions and see anything else.
After all, it's metaverse, Jazz.
Yes.
We want to reach gamers beyond the world.
Absolutely, and I'm enthused that to have these people from Vietnam and all other places as well. So next question, a very exciting team, which actually I can say is very exciting because I interview the team quite often, and they are very exciting. A very exciting team and a game that is expected to be great. Where do you expect the game to be in the long run? And will a possible bear season affect the game? So, where's the game going in the long run? And do you think this the bear market, if one does come, let's hope it does not, will it affect it? So
Well,
over to you both.
again, because we have started out with play and earn aspect, which puts the game first, which also means gamer first. So if the players are enjoying playing the game, and earning aspect is almost secondary, because as long as they are enjoying the game and playing the game, they will be earning money. So it's not the other way around. They don't have to play the game to earn money. You know what I mean? They will want to play the game because it's fun. So from day one, we decided to make our game a long-term game, minimum
Hmm.
4 or 5 years. So
Okay.
that's why we will have lots of expansion packs, new features, new functionalities, just like any standard traditional MMORPG.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And also, yeah, so we use the same NFT mechanisms as play to earn. So earning part is similar. But in play to earn, earning is the real first motivation. In play and earn, even though you earn the same amount or way, game is the first motivation. Fun game is the first motivation. And we started out play. We are the ones who introduced play and earn as an alternative to play to earn in the world. And our first motivation was, you know, we calculated that the macroeconomic scale, when the hype is gone, where do you find the money to pay the gamers? You know, and so the math doesn't hold. So
Hmm.
we real and also 3 billion gamers ready to pay hundreds of billions of dollars in real games. So in especially the rich worlds or world in parts where the people have good income, we have a lot of people that are willing to pay for extra skins and everything. And this like $10 a month is nothing for them, and they want to play it just for the fun. And also in some other maybe poor places, people also have fun, but they are more interested on the earning part, as maybe more interested on the earning part as well. So we have this inflow of money to sustain the economy. But in order to achieve that, you need a great game, like in the traditional gaming, sector.
Hmm.
So
And do you
that's our
think that?
philosophy to survive the
Uh,
bear market.
yeah, no, that's wonderful. So that's a pretty good strategy as well, and it's good to
Thank
hear
you.
that.
Thank you.
So yeah, let's take another question then. If there's another question, let's take that. Um, oh, this is pretty straightforward. How many people are in the project? Obviously, your team's growing day by
Yeah,
day.
Well,
it's growing fast. It's over 30 people now, but it's still growing. And thanks to Mev, Ding, and Onur Cayli, who both attract a lot of talent from their domains.
Hmm.
We have a lot of Unity developers, game developers, a lot of 3D artists who want to work for Onur and for Mevlut. So it's growing very fast.
yeah,
Okay,
and
wonderful.
also I think to add that, and also what you said earlier, Jazz, about helping newcomers. Uh, Obviously, Turkey has a very young population with a lot of talented guys out there looking for opportunities. So we will select talented young people, bring them on board, and nurture them and turn them into, great professionals.
That's
Uh,
wonderful.
and in the long run, this has always been my dream. And again, Erhan, Ersin, and the rest of the co-founders are backing me on this. We will probably set up an important center where we can train young developers, in programming and with Onur's help and guidance in visual arts. and obviously blockchain team. We have a very strong blockchain team with Ersin being our CTO. So we really want to help the industry as well,
Okay.
obviously realize our own dreams, but also help young people realize theirs.
Okay, wonderful. Let's take one final question then. Okay, when exactly are you planning to release the game? Well, you have the two best people here to answer that question.
Yeah. So
We have the
maybe
roadmap.
we want to go first on the game part. I'm on the
To
blockchain
be
part.
honest, yeah, we have the roadmap on our website anyway. Everything's out in the open. All the information is shared with the community. Before I forget, I saw a lot of questions earlier, people asking about information about rewards and announcements. Please follow our official channels. We share every bit of information for the benefit of the community. So all you have to do is follow our channels, official channels, so you don't miss out on anything. And I'm sure during and after the AMAs, there are some rewards. So again, people ask, what happened to the awards? They're all taken care of. Anyway,
Yeah.
so to answer the question, obviously it's all planned out. We are working very hard, and we will be doing our public IDO in the second half of January next year. We are very, very excited about it. And then obviously followed with special NFT sales. Onur is working on some amazing special race, which won't be found ever in the game. And then obviously we are hoping to release the beta towards the end of second quarter. And then, game will be released thereafter. But like I said, it's a long process. We are talking about the first release. We will have loads of expansion packs and many, many new features added to the game as we go along. And a lot of requests will be coming to us from the community as well.
Okay, wonderful. And Ersin, anything to add from your side on the
No,
question?
everything has been answered. So our blockchain part will be on time, so ready for Q2.
Okay, that's wonderful. Well, firstly, gentlemen, I must say thank you for jumping in. It was a surprise, and I think the community is probably very, very happy, as I am, to have you here to join this AMA. And I think it'd be good probably at some point to get back Onur and Jamie when they have a bit more stable internet connection. Obviously, the internet connection went down and beyond their control. So it'd be great to have them back at some point to answer some questions that I had still to put forward to them, and also for the community to learn about that. And also I was thinking maybe in the new year that we could have a joint AMA, like both of you joined. Maybe you can bring some of the other senior management team members on the call.
Absolutely.
Because I think it's wonderful to have you all here.
Yes.
And actually do a little round table, right? I think it'd be very fun, and it'd be really great for the community as well to get to see everyone in one go. So maybe we can arrange that on the next one of the next AMAs, probably in the new year for 2022 in the early part, and have you guys all on the AMA call with me, especially for all the English speaking community members, to get to meet all of you guys in one go, which will be great. We must do something like that. But anyway, thank you, Mev, thank you, Ersin, for jumping in and answering some of these good questions that the community have. And part of from myself, from Crypto G Hub, always a pleasure to have you on these AMAs.
Same here, Jazz. Same here.
Welcome.
Thank you for your support, and you've been a wonderful host as always. And also, I would like to wish everyone around the globe a very Merry Christmas in advance, which isn't too far away, and a wonderful Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Yeah, Happy New Year and Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Thank you, Ersin and Mev. It's wonderful.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.